guys, what's up? Welcome back to my channel. I'm Brienne and this is Books with Bri. Today I will be chatting through the 4 books that I was able to completely finish in the month of September, along with the one that I am currently reading that will transfer over to books that I will be reading in October. Alright, so for the first book that I was able to finish in the month of September is Shatter Me by Tahereh Mafi. I gave this book 3 out of 5 stars and I really enjoyed it. There were just some things in here that I didn't agree with and could have just been solved by talking, you know, like normal people do. But I guess that's kind of needed. This is the first book in Tahereh Mafi's Shatter Me series, and it follows Juliet as she is living at one of the bases for the reestablishment that had been set in charge of helping to restore the planet to a healthy living state, but instead they destroyed it even more, and now there are thousands upon thousands of people dying from starvation, and there's just the environment's destroyed, animals are dying. Kind of depressing. This took me a little bit to get into, and with the fact that I didn't agree with some of the actions taken in this book, it bumped it down to 3 out of 5 stars, but it was really good once I got into it. There was some humor, some lightheartedness, there was some romance that I really enjoyed, and overall I definitely recommend this for anyone trying to get into YA fantasy. So the second book that I was able to finish in the month of September is one that I am just going to breeze over because I have already mentioned that I do not and will not be talking about this author and book series because they are very harmful to the LGBTQ+ community, and that is Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban. I ended up reading this, gave it a 4 out of 5 stars. It was a reread for me. It took me back to my childhood, but I still felt kind of uncomfy reading it, knowing how crappy the author has been and her lack of support and diversity in her books. Alright, third but definitely not last book that I read in the month of September is another reread, and that was Lady Midnight by Cassandra Clare. This is one of the newer books from the Dark Artifices trilogy. This is the first one. This follows Emma and Julian and the Blackthorn family, which is Julian's siblings and family, as they go on an adventure to try and solve this string of murders that are eerily similar to how Emma's parents were killed. And so this just drew me back into the Shadowhunter world. I absolutely loved it, and this is drawing me closer to the end of my reread of the Shadowhunter Chronicles so that I could read the newest book, The Lost Book of the White. I ultimately gave this book a 5 out of 5 stars because I absolutely loved the character development, the plot, the action, the romance, all the aspects of family that were brought into it as well, along with the fact that this is actually one of Cassandra Clare's more in-depth books, and it explores a lot of different topics such as mental health and trauma, which you don't get a lot of in the first 2 series because, I don't know, like there's a lot of crazy ass shit that happens in the first 2 series, but this one really shows how that impacted the characters now 5 years later, and it still has an effect on them, which I really enjoyed. And this has more representation, not a lot, not enough, but it does start to show how Cassandra Clare is growing as an author, including more diversity and representation. She is trying, and I hope as time goes on she will get better with it. But this also includes one of my favorite characters, Ty Blackthorn. So Ty is also an autistic character, and I really enjoyed when all the scenes that we get with Ty and his brother and his siblings. it was just an overall amazing book, and I don't know, I personally enjoyed it. So I gave it a 5 out of 5 stars again. The first time I read it, it took me a while to get into. This time I just jumped right in and I was through it before I knew it. So the fourth book that I was able to finish, keyword finish, in the month of September was The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo by Taylor Jenkins Reid. I would be showing you guys a physical copy, but I did read it through the Kindle app on my phone and on my Kindle. So basically this book follows Monique as she is taking down Evelyn Hugo's biography. And Evelyn Hugo was this huge movie star from the 50s to the 80s when she mysteriously quit acting. And she had enough money to do so, but it follows mostly through the tale of Evelyn's life, and we get to see bits and pieces of how Monique is living through that time, and then at the end you are met with a major plot twist of how Evelyn knows Monique and why Evelyn wants Monique specifically, and only Monique, to write her biography. Personally, I enjoyed this so much. I did give it a 4 out of 5 star rating. I was able to connect with the characters so much. None of them felt like they were just thrown in for no reason. All of them were fleshed out so well. The plot, you could see how one action and event led to another without any like plot holes, and everything was really well explained, and it was just such an emotional ride. So when I went to rate it after I finished, it was just a gut reaction of, do you give it a 5 or 4 star? And my gut said give it a 4 star, so that's what I went with, and I still feel good about that rating. Though if I gave it a reread, I might give it a 5 or I might give it a 3. I'm not sure, but for now it will be staying at a 4 out of 5 stars. Alright, so now I kind of just want to briefly talk over the book that I am reading now and will be reading through the month of October, and that is Little Fires Everywhere by Celeste Ng. I have started to annotate it and I am 90 pages in, so I am about a fourth the way through this book, and I have to say this is so good, but I am just not used to reading books that are more heavily reliant on the characters themselves and not the plot. So this is something I need to get used to, but I am really enjoying it. I feel a deep connection to some of the characters, and I'm really invested in how things will turn out. Right now I can't see how the first chapter relates to what else is being told, but we are still in the beginning of the plot, and so I will see where this goes. I'm hoping to enjoy this. As of right now, I would give this a 3 out of 5 because I am not done. That is definitely not my final rating, but I'm enjoying it. It is yet to hit like an extreme emotion that would cause it to shoot up to a 5 star or 4.5. So it will be left at an in progress of 3 out of 5. I will definitely let you guys know how this one goes and what my feelings are towards it in next month's wrap up. Alright guys, that was it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed. Thank you for all your support lately, and please don't forget to like and subscribe, and let me know down in the comment section below what you were able to read in the month of September. If you read any of the same books as me, and any book recommendations that you have for me that I will most likely be getting and putting on my bookshelf so that I can read later on and see what all the hype's about.